Okay, let's start with paying our respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. My homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's pay our respect to our teacher, Pinat Lokaswamin Nasi also. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Right. And then, can anyone describe what is form?
Form is the body or a vessel.
Yes, we can say body, and when we describe in like theoretically, there are four elements, right? What are
Yes,
the
water,
water,
uh, air,
air,
earth,
earth,
uh, and fire.
fire? Very good, Frank. Very good. And so, what is feeling? Like basically, we talk about main three feelings.
You've got pleasant feeling,
Plus
unpleasant feeling, and neutral feeling.
neutral feeling.
The coming together of the sense sphere with an external object and consciousness is contact, and through contact there's feeling.
Right. Very good. Contact, based on contact, feelings arises. Mainly we talk about pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and the neutral feeling. Good. Okay. What is the example for the perception?
Mirage.
Mirage. Very good, Delay. Mirage is the example. So it's like we see something. What we see is uh, what we see is a true, but it's not a reality. It's like a conditional one. So we have misunderstanding like like mirage. So it's a conditional thing what we see based on the contact. So the volitional formation. There is another example, like a beautiful example for that. Can anyone remember?
Banana tree.
The banana tree. Very good. Right. So we cut to find a good trunk from it, and we couldn't find. We were not able to find a good one. So like guys, we cut each and every moment. We cut a different banana tree to find something called a good trunk or good wood. So now also we are about to cut a banana tree by listening this to find a way to escape. It's also actually at the end of the practice you will understand that the intention also like a trunk. So what we have to, from these teachings we have to understand that all those intentions, volitions are just another trunk. So by understanding that, yes, of course, we will realize the reality of the life. Okay, then the consciousness. Uh, there is a nice example for the consciousness also, like a metaphor.
Magician.
Magician. Good, Shani. Good. The magician. So we have a magician, and magician create magics, and again we are the one who's becoming falling for and caught to the trap to the same thing over and over again. So it's a thing like this. there is a drama. Drama is real. Feelings are real. The actings and all the actors are acting everything real. It's not a fake, but script is a fake one. We are acting to a fake script, believing that that's a true one. So when we see our mind like instead of believing what we are experiencing is the reality, or that my point of view is the right thing in this world, if we can see this world like cause and effect, we see this world as we see, and at that also conditional one, when we see that the rising and falling, and when we see this, we have freedom from our frames. When there is no frame to protect as me or mine or myself, and that's the end of sufferings. So if not, and if we couldn't find this way, we always try to find a solution by cutting a banana tree, but it does not have that trunk what we are expecting that the wood. Why? Every solution is a solution under the circumstances what we are experiencing at the moment. Since everything subject to change, when the conditions change, you will experience your solution will be the problem in the next moment. So, like, think that you are experiencing someone died, like someone died, and you care a lot, and then it's a suffering, but it was not a suffering. Uh, it was a kind of a miracle, or something you have had in your life in one day, like a couple of years ago, maybe 20 years ago. So you say you felt like this is she or he is the lucky charm of my life, and now you are experiencing the suffering, because when they die or when they change or when things change, this suffering arises. So and there is a nice you know what, uh, uh, in the in here also the same usually, but we- uh, there are some nice examples we can find in Sri Lanka when it comes to the political things. So whenever any politician become a member, or some when they gain a position, they are like they feel like they have the some power, and they are like to the world they are like the main character. But after 5 years or so, someone else taking that position, and then they are just a memory, and they don't have that the same position and the same fame what they have had. So but then their what they have had as an answer then become the suffering for them, or the problem to them. They expect it over and over again, they couldn't get it. Likewise, so all the answers what we are having in our life will be a suffering one day. So if you feel like this won't be a suffering one day, think that you have enough money, and you feel like when I have a problem I would like to eat a chocolate. If you don't have that sort of habit, don't think that there are no they in this world there are people like that. When they have a problem, they don't go to a meditation class, they find a place to go and eat. Once they have a good meal, they feel like, okay, now I feel comfortable. So there are some people, they used to sleep when they have a problem. At least they can avoid that. There are some people, They go to bar and take a couple of shots. So then it will be a problem one day. How? Doctor says, hey, you are not allowed to eat chocolate again because your diabetes level is too high. So then it will be a problem because your solution now it's a problem. And if your doctor asks you to change your eating habit, then it's a problem again. Your solution become problem. You want to overcome all the problems and have a good sleep, but your mind is not ready to sleep. That's also a problem. You want to drink, but your body is like your body can't hold any amount of alcohol because you had too much and your body is weak, like cigarette addictions. So likewise, so every solution will turn into suffering. So that's the reality. So then how do we going to how are we gonna overcome from that? Instead of finding a solution like a final solution from this conditioned world, we try to see it arising and falling. So even it's a problem, even it's a solution, whatever it is, it's belong to five aggregates. So it's arising and it's falling. And it's not me, it's not mine or not myself. Once we realize, they come to the freedom, and freedom does not want to hold anything because freedom is freedom. So that's what we gonna practice and learn here. So before we practice the meditation, I just want to know, uh, we had around 3 or 4 classes, I think, on 5 aggregates of clingings. Do you have any questions?
So I have a quick question. Like
Yes.
after the class, is there any text or any other thing that we can go on, like read or understand and meditate on that?
Yes, I will share um, the sutta, and the sutta means a teaching. The thing is, did I created a one on 5 aggregates of clinging? I'll create one and put it to the group, Satish, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I have another
Yes,
question.
and
Like,
with the meditation.
yeah,
Yes, Satish.
I have one more question. Like recently, I've been kind of reading on like one other sutta called like Satipatthana Sutta. Like, what is the difference between
Correct.
the like Satipatthana Sutta and the sutta we are learning here?
Yeah, the Satipatthana Sutta means that noble eightfold path, seventh seventh thing called the right mindfulness. So Satipatthana Sutta teach how to cultivate right mindfulness. So in there are different meditations, on meditation on the body, contemplating on the body or the feeling or the mind, or the Dhamma means mind conditions. So there is a meditation in the Dhamma or the mind conditions called uh, 5 aggregates, contemplating on 5 aggregates. So what we are learning here is related to that part, and when you learn this, you can if you practice this meditation again, you are practicing that Dhammanupassana section. Understood?
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, right. Um, any other questions? If you don't have questions, I'm going to ask questions from you, assuming that you know the answer. Oh, Bhante, we fed up with questions, and we don't need any other questions from Dhamma, right? Okay.
I don't have a question. I do have a comment.
Yes, Prasad.
Um, I've been really trying to, first of all, I want to thank you for taking like almost 3 classes to explain this. Uh, but I know you had sent us last week after class to start a dialogue, and we just couldn't get it going. But when you send that meditation today, and I'll be very honest with you, I don't really like reading these, verses like that. I put it in the Google's version of ChatGPT, Gemini, and it wrote it down in plain English. And that really got me to understand it a lot better. That's probably why I was able to answer your question when you first asked. Because after you WhatsApped it this afternoon, I actually put it in to really decipher it. Even reading
Right.
verse, I'm not good at poetry and stuff like that, so it's difficult for me to comprehend sometimes. So thank you for sending that, and I do appreciate you taking the effort and asking these questions all the time to see if we had. So it took me 3 classes to really grasp what it was. So thank you again.
Yes, and Prasad, so that is for the meditation actually.
Yeah.
So when we practice a meditation, so it's like actually when we practice a meditation without the knowledge, if we just chant what is here, it just a focused attention meditation, or it can be again grouped in a focus meditation, not a vipassana or the insight meditation, seeing through. So what you have learned as knowledge is the knowledge you should have to practice this, and this help to with that knowledge when you see the rising and falling. So what we this verses is the way Buddha taught, like asking a question like permanent or impermanent, and then if something impermanent is it suffering or not, and if it is impermanent suffering, and if it is not, can we consider it like me or mine or myself? Then monk saying no. So likewise, it's like a way of taking our mind to feel the liberation. So when we practice this, so even we are not familiar with the chanting also. So once we learn it and once we understand and once we used to practice this can break the attachment at very moment. Like as an example, think that you are going through a some discomfort, like a difficult time. Even maybe think that some sort of a suffering. It may be illness, maybe death of someone, or anything, any sort of a mental or physical discomfort. So if we take that question as like the in detail in our point of view, like I feel suffering because my someone I care a lot is sick, and I don't have, I can't go and help him, he's in distance, I can't help. Likewise, in there is a story in there, in that story no way of finding like a end of suffering. But uh, even that story can be break into 5 aggregates, what arising in this moment. So when we have that knowledge and when we see that the rupa or the form is arising and falling, it's impermanent, and the feeling, when we say that I may have that unpleasant feeling at the moment due to the contact, rising and falling, it's impermanent and uncertain, and it's not me or mine or myself. When we do that, that attachment to that 5 aggregates are like fading away. Like sometimes that problem is no longer there. When that problem is no longer there, that means that the suffering, actually not the problem. When suffering is no longer there, we can see the story as an incident. Someone I care a lot living in far away, I can't go and help, and because of that I feel pain. So then you can break down what you can do for that person, and then you can help, and at the same time with the compassion, and you don't fall into that suffering. How it works, because once your knowledge you are taking to practice as a meditation. So uh, that's why we need a verse to practice. Like we all have loving kindness and we know the loving benefit of loving kindness. So we need to create a kind of a verse, like a stanzas, to keep practice it. When we practice it, and there is a huge difference before and after, when we experience that love and kindness in our heart. Even, yes, of course, even before we practice, we know that the loving kindness has a great power, but the knowledge and experience is a two different thing. That's why we need that verses. Understood, Prasad? Okay,
Thank you, Bhante.
you're welcome. And like Prasad, be open and don't hold any questions. Put it out, because if not, like just let it go, because we
I
should.
have a question.
Yes, go
So,
ahead.
I mean, theoretically, this can be kind of understood, right? But in practical life, um, while we say, well, if there's a problem, we can just look at it and observe the rising and falling. But sometimes we have to try to do something or find a solution because of the responsibility that we hold, right? So, and society will not accept if we say, oh, we are just going to look at it and watch, observe it rise and fall. So, how can we kind of resolve that?
Yeah, so this is a way to overcome from that the sufferings which comes from the attachment, and the responsibility is something else. So it's a thing that someone comes to your house and steals something. So, and to overcome from the suffering which create in your mind, what you have to do, oh, it's attachment, and because of this attachment, I feel suffering, and you can break it to 5 aggregates and see the impermanence. Responsible wise, what can we do? We have only two things, mainly two things, like call in the cops, they will do the day, all the duties, and that's how you pay taxes, and call the insurance. That's why you pay the premium. So, and you don't want to worry about the other things, and you can do extra precautions, like you can add a surveillance system or something, and that's all. It does not affect to your efficiency. Actually, your efficiency will boost, because uh, so efficiency definitely will boost, because based on this, it's like when we have a suffering, our mind is so focused to overcome from that pain, not to break down what's really happening, and see the cause and effect. So it's like this thing that someone is going through, like a relationship breakup. So at that time, even though if you try to say, hey, break it down to Rupa Vedana, nonsense, go away, give me something to drink. That's how our mind is, because if we want like a sudden solution, because we are in a severe pain at that time. So when we have a pain, we don't focus to the actual questions, like we don't have like ability to that, we are so stressed. So but if we take ourselves out of that problem, and when we see it, we can break down what are the problem, and we can figure out what is the best solution to this. So likewise, this meditation never put you like to the reverse gear, or so. And when you are living and taking the responsibilities, if you feel so, then see the Bhante, Bhante doing, you know what? Even though I do these classes or not, tomorrow the devotees will bring alms. I think tomorrow Prasad, right? Okay. Yeah, so, and, but even though but I do this, and sometimes this daily schedule like sleep like 12 or 1, but that doesn't mean they will come and knock the door at 6:30. Hey, come to the Dana arms. So it does not affect your efficiency at all. It will give you some more time, and uh, in science theories, actually, I mean, in research it says like there are 80,000 or 60,000 ongoing daily thoughts, but when we meditate it reduces to 20,000, but efficiency boost. That means there may be reduction of all those 60,000 thoughts, but those are thoughts we don't want, belong to worrying, belong to that uncertainty. So therefore, don't worry about that. You will be most responsible person after practicing this meditation. Okay, Linda, what's it?
Just one short question about the difference between consciousness and perception, Mante. I sometimes still get
Perception.
confused. Yes. Does through consciousness, we recognize things, but through perception, we get the details, right, Bante? But
Right.
yeah, basically, if Bante can explain a little bit between them, that will be much
Yes, the
appreciated.
consciousness is like the magician. Magic is the perception, and one who what I need a proper English word to this. Who is there? Like, okay, Tirona, Ravatino, how can we say in English?
To fool, to
So
To
sometimes
fool,
it's bit Ravatana.
Getting like fooled.
to
Get
fool a person.
Yeah.
full of
yeah,
person.
get
Yeah,
fooled.
they get
Okay,
in.
okay. Based on that magic, one who get again fooled is the consciousness. Linda understood? Magician create magic, and from that magic again getting fooling. The magician is the one who again get foolish. Why? Consciousness arises based on the nama and the rupa, mental and physical formation.
Mentality and materiality.
So the
Mentality.
consciousness is like a growing thing. It's always upgrading to the next level.
Right. And how about perception, then, Bante? How do I understand
Perception.
that?
So the example comes where, like, if you can remember that the
mirage.
from colors. Can you remember?
Yes,
So like,
it
guys,
perceives color and the shape.
yes,
Right, Bante?
and the colors, and then the if you can remember the rupa sanya, that means that the perceptions come from the eyesight, perception come from the sound, perception come from the smells or the odors, perception comes from the taste, and the perception comes from the body sensation and the mind thoughts.
Bante, do I when those three things come together, the I, form, and I consciousness, when
Yes.
the I consciousness arises, so all the feeling, perception, and volitional formations, they arise at the same time, Bante.
Yes.
Am I right to say
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Okay.
So
That means
based on
perception.
now, yes. Go ahead, Melinda.
That means that the perception is kind of like because of this consciousness, because of we recognize something, and then the feeling arise, and then we perceive that based on our consciousness. But mainly
Yes,
the
based on
consciousness,
consciousness. And
Mhm.
we don't say just only the consciousness, we say like the contact,
Based on the context,
because
the
consciousness
meeting,
can be like, yeah.
then all those three things come. But I cannot say that consciousness comes first and then perception comes later. I can't say that. It's just simultaneously they arise. Something.
Yes.
Okay. I think only Supreme Buddha can differentiate between those.
And the thing is, when we have this knowledge, and then what we have to do is we have to keep on practicing on to meditate, because can you remember there is a sutta called Samadhi Sutta? Buddha asked us to improve focus. What for? To understand these five aggregates. So think that your granddaughter, grandson asking while going to the kindergarten, teach me how the first teach me the three laws of the Newton, and give me what do you say?
They have to start from the kindergarten first, right?
Yes. Let's try to learn. Let's start with counting. So after counting, likewise, we have to gradually improve. Yes, and likewise.
Thank you, Anthony.
And right now it's
Hi,
Sunny.
yes, hi, Mante. I wanted to ask you a question regarding this law of Newton, as you're saying.
Oh, so wait. If it is not regarding five aggregates, let's skip it. Uh, and if not, yes, keep. Go ahead.
Okay, I just thought the law of Newton, if there is something you could add more on that.
All right. So if so, Sunny, the focus will, because we have to keep focus to the five aggregates, because now we are going to do the meditation. You
Okay,
can ask it on Sunday, right?
okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question, Bante?
Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
The
Also,
the I understand
sure.
that birth is suffering. So is
Yeah.
birth the start of the five aggregates? Is birth where the five aggregates begin?
No, that avijja, though the not knowingness is the reason to five aggregates to begin. So if we put that, we have to improve to understand that, we have to understand the paticca samuppada, or the dependent origination.
So what Sean said, if it is not birth, then when is the start? Can you, I mean, I know you just mentioned something. I didn't catch on to that. When does that start? Suffering start?
It start from the avijja. Avijja means the not knowingness of the Four Noble Truths, and then uh, uh, that's why I said that we need to learn the dependent origination. From dependent origination, we can understand what is samsara. Samsara means birth, decaying and dying, again rebirth, decaying and dying. So it's a circle. So in that circle, there Buddha saying, there we can find the day someone first started this circle. So one day there were like there is a nice sutta. So in there, like one person come to see and Buddha and saying, I don't practice this if you don't answer these 10 questions. So I want answers for these questions. So one is that, so when the first this suffering started, when this the samsara started. So then Buddha saying, the Buddha giving a nice answer for that, which is think someone hit from a arrow shaft with poison. Now he's in with the doctor. So doctor is about to remove that arrow shaft. At that time, patient saying, "Please don't touch this shaft. Before you remove this, I need you to answer these 10 questions. Who showed this? What poison contains this? What sort of feather was in the other side? Likewise, questions." So Buddha saying, so if you want to find those answers, then what you lose, you will lose the main problem what you have, which is suffering. So likewise, the Buddha teach the a way to overcome from suffering. So when it comes to arahants does not have that question, which mean what? These questions creating in our mind, and then we represent that questions as me or mine or myself. But once we realize the exact truth, those questions does not arises, and those identity no longer, like to represent that questions as me or mine or myself, no longer exist, because they made of truth, like realizing the truth. So uh, that's why we need to understand that the dependent origination. Once we understand the dependent origination, we can understand how this cause and effect work, rather than finding like the history, like how many eons before we came to this samsara. So we can instead of that, we can understand based on avijja how sanskara arises, based on sankara how vijnana arises, based on vijnana how namarupa arises. Likewise, the whole 12 things on dependent origination we can understand. Sean, do you have anything on that? Any follow-up question?
No, that makes sense, that it's a cycle, that there's no start and no end, I guess.
Yes, and there is end, Sean. That
Oh,
means overcome that, eradicating, and that enlightenment means or ending of the avijja or the not knowingness. And avijja, with avijja, the tanha is there. Tanha means the ego. When those two not existing, that's the end of the suffering.
okay.
Bante, I don't want to sound like the grandson asking to
Yeah.
learn Newton's laws, but do you think when the time is right, we could explore some of the suttas and teachings on dependent origination, like the Mahanidana Sutta, or maybe some other, maybe some shorter ones, or just something?
Yes, definitely. It's because now we have learned the 5 aggregates, and now based on that we can just connect one by one easily. So before we go to that, I will come again to the surface level, because if not, you will feel boring. At least to some participants will feel boring. I can't understand, always telling about the things like rocket science. So we will try to learn some samatha meditation also, and then after after a couple of classes, yes, of course, we can go to the dependent origination. The thing is, once when we go to dependent origination, we need to go through like at least 6 or so classes to understand that.
Thank you, Bante.
Yeah, come and don't worry, definitely. If I be here and if I continue these programs, I'll definitely teach you, because I don't want to like stop in middle, because that's not usually my way. So I'll do my best. Okay. Right. And okay. Now it's time to relax your body and mind. So find uh, uh, find a quiet place. If you are not in a quiet place, um, take a slow but deep breath in and breathe out. So instead of creating something and understand, let's try to understand what we experience uh, in this moment. Because if we create in something in our mind and try to understand, uh, it's not a way to end of suffering, but it's just a mind-made illusion. And once we feel like I understood that, it's again another sankhara. So therefore, let's start with our body. This body made from four nutritions. From out of those four nutritions, we know only we are sure about one thing for sure, which is food. So this body is made out of food. So rising and falling. So we know that if we do not feed this body will faint and ill and die. So the strength what we have in this body based on the nutritions. And even if someone feed uh, using a mechanism, if there is no life, I think that someone died already and brain is dead, and someone giving feeding by you uh, giving something to blood and oxygen, but that's not alive. So that means not only the food, the consciousness, the nutrition called consciousness, and the contact and the volition should also be there. So this rupa is here based on the form. The nutritions. When if nutritions are no longer there, the form is falling apart. So therefore, this rupa is impermanent, impermanent, impermanent. Impermanent means we are not asking this to turn to another thing. We just try to bring our attention and focus to see this as a impermanent thing. Then feelings. When we say feelings, it talks about pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and the neutral feelings mainly. In this moment, you may have pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling or just a neutral feeling. Yes, of course, there may be so many different feelings arising and falling because change in the contact. Sometimes contact arises from what you hear. Sometimes contact arises from your mind. Sometimes contact arises from your body sensations. So the contact arise and fall like water bubbles. When raining, bubbles create and vanish. So feelings are arising due to the contact of six sense faculties. And when contacts fall, the feelings also falls. Another sensation arises. Since this happening so rapidly, we feel like everything happening in the same time. But one thing at a time. That's how it works. Rise and fall. Since the feelings of changing, it's an impermanent thing. Because of it, it's a suffering or uncertainty. It's not me, it's not mine or myself. It's not me means there is no authority to control it. And the perceptions. We have different ideas, different ways of seeing things. So those perceptions arises due to contact, and when contact change, the perceptions change. It's a suffering, and it's not me, it's not mine, or it's not myself. The volitions, the volitional formation or the intentions arises and falls due to the contact again. Arising and falling. Every intention has like a idea, like finding a better solution, like someone finding try to find a better wood from a banana tree. Every intention asks to cut a tree, but at the end, it's just nothing because it's falling when contact impermanent, when contact change. You may have an idea like, I want to understand this. It arises due to the contact. When that contact falls, that intention is no longer there. But when that intention is here, it's you feel like I want to cut this tree somehow, so like power. But suddenly, if forget from your life, suddenly that expectation to understand also fade away. So impermanent, and it's a suffering, and not me, and not myself. Consciousness. Consciousness arises due to the mental and physical formation. Physical formation means the rupa again, the four elements. When it comes to mental formation, which means contact, feeling, perception, and volition plus attention. So it's like magician create magic from the same magic. Magician is the one get fooled. Arising due to mental and physical formation, and falls when mental and physical formation no longer there. It's a uncertainty. It's a impermanent and uncertain thing. Not me, not mine, or not myself. Just try to understand like this. You meet a new person. This is the first time you see that person. You don't have any willingness to talk or think about that person, but that person comes to you and say, how are you? At that time, you may have a neutral feeling. You have the form, you have the neutral feeling towards that person, you have a neutral perceptions, and just your intentions also so neutral, and you understand your magician create magics, like not interesting very much, but after sometimes you feel like this person is so nice and very good. He's offering you gifts, benefits, and he seems like caring so much. Now your magician created magics, and from that magic, the magician is the one again getting foolish. And now you feel like this person is a very good person. Now when you see that person, your body also kind of a change. You feel smile, you want to smile, and you feel pleasant feeling. Feelings change due to the contact change. You feel pleasant perceptions instead of just being neutral. And you want to talk, and you want to share your stories, give something like intentions. Now the banana tree, you have a different banana tree to cut. So you all being so friendly. After sometimes you find that that person has another idea. He's cheating, or he tried to steal something from you. That's why he do those plans. Now when you see that person, you don't have that neutral feeling. You're no longer there. Pleasant feeling, no longer there. That unpleasant feeling arises. Your body also change, not because your food what you eat, but based on your contact change, based on your thoughts change, and based on your consciousness change. And your feelings also change due to the contact change. Your perceptions. Now you don't feel lust to see that person, but the angry perceptions. Intentions also angry. So it change. So after some time, after 20 years or so, you see that person. Now you don't have anger anymore. You know that those days are over. Again, you just feel a neutral feeling because you don't want to hold anger. So likewise, everything subject to change based on those magicians' magics. We see magics, but everything rising and falling, impermanent. Be due to the impermanent, it's a suffering. Nothing to hold as me or mine or myself. So let's try to chant these verses and understand this. Relax your body and relax your mind. Form arises with nutriment, falls when nourishment ends, impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Form arises with nutriment, falls when nourishment ends, impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Form arises with nutriment, falls when nourishment ends. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Feeling arises through contact, ceases when contact fades. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Feeling arises through contact, ceases when contact fades. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Feelings arises through contact, ceases when contact fades. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Perceptions arises with contact, ends as contact dissolves. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Perceptions arises with contact, ends as contact dissolves. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Volitional formations arise from contact, cease when contact ends. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Volitional formations arise from contact, cease when contact ends. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Volitional formations arise from contact, cease when contact ends. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Consciousness arises from name and form, fades as this name and form sees impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Consciousness arises from name and form, fades as mind and body cease. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not mine, not myself. Consciousness arises from name and form, or the mental and the physical formation, fades as mental and physical formation cease. Impermanent, 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 and uncertain. Not me, not my, not myself. And if you can remember, we have learned the 11 ways of the 5 aggregates. In there, we learned that the 3 times, and which means the past, future, and present, internal, external, gross or subtle, inferior, superior, far or near. So there may be any clinging in our mind based on either past or future or present, internal or external, gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near. See it, not me, not mine, not myself. If you find any clinging hard to overcome, break it into 5 aggregates and see when it arises. Is it based on past or future or present? Is it internal or external? Or considered that gross or subtle, inferior or superior, far or near? And then you can see it, not me or not mine or not myself, which will allows you to overcome from that clinging. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Open your eyes. So now it's your turn. If you have any thought, see it as a volitional formation. What is the way of volitional formation? It want a solution. It want to break something, break the banana tree and find the trunk, the good wood. So see that your mind asking. If it is a question, your mind want a solution. So based on the perception and the feeling. If it is like, if you feel like uh, freedom, relax. Don't hold it as yourself. See it rise, see it just again 5 aggregates, rising and falling. It will change to something else. So if we practice this, if we master this, and if our mind can see things as it is like this, then there is no way of framing things as me or mine or myself, because everything, every time arising as a new thing and falling as a new thing, falling that new thing. And if once you understand this, you will allow the others to change. Until then, you will complain others. You are very good in the past, but you are not the way you were. Why? Your mind attached to aggregates which arises in the past, and you want to see it as a reality in this moment also. Once you understand that everything arising as a new thing and falling there, you allow others to change. You allow others to have different emotions. You allow others to have different feelings, and you don't frame them from their current feeling or emotions. You can't judge others from that moment onwards, and you can't judge yourself even from that moment onwards, because I am not good, or I am the one, I'm the best of the best. There is no way of frame. Why? You see that rising and falling. It's not just something believing. You see it's arising and falling. So then you will open to the reality. That means everything new. So remember, try to bring that to your mind, that the days you had some vacations, like going to a new place. You see it's so beautiful. Think that someone got a chance from another country to visit DC to see the cherry blossom. Wow, it's amazing. They are like seeing a kind of a heaven there. Now, why they are seeing it for the first time? So what will happen if your company will arrange a trip to go and see the cherry blossom to you? You will say, wait, what? Can't you find some another place? Because we know what's going on there. We don't feel it's something new experience. So once you open yourself to the reality, you will drink a new cup of coffee from new mug, what you are drinking right now. You will come to a new monastery. You will see new Bhante. You will see new friends. You see everything is new. You don't have anything to frame as good or bad. You will experience New Year each and every time. New Year means the day you starting to write your diary again. The day you start to clean your house and start to have a proper plan to live. So you will have that new experience again in your life, instead of holding any defilement. So that's it. Okay, then let's say good sadhu, 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 sadhu. One more time. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Uh, we let's share the merits with each and everyone, especially with the divinely powers and with our teacher and all the monastic monks who teach teachings to the community. And let's share all the blessings and good karma with all of you who participated today. And we want to share merits with Tyrone last week, and this week he's the one recording and uh, doing so the editing and preparing the video. So, and with all of you, let's share the blessings and merits with all of you by the power of these merits. Uh, may you all be well, be happy. May all of your good wishes come true. And may you all able to understand the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Linda,
Oh, sorry, Bante. Let me share the screen. Share merit with Bante and ask for forgiveness. Okasa Wandami Bante.
Sakya,
Maya katang punyang samina anumoditapang.
sadhu, sadhu, anumodami.
Samina katang punyang mayhang datapang.
Sadhu, sadhu, anumodita.
Sadhu sadhu anumodami. Okasa dwaratena katang sabbang aceyang kamatami Bante. Okasa kamami Bante. Dutiyampi okasa kamami Bante. Tatiyampi okasa kamami Bante. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sukhi.
sadhu. Thank you, Bante, for sharing the
Namo Buddhaya.
beautiful love.
Yeah.